This is The Happiness Blueprint, the podcast where we uncover how people build happier lives.
Awesome. My name is Peter. I'm here with The Happiness Blueprint with Nikita and Sofia. Am I saying both of those correct?
Yes.
Beautiful friends. Thank you for joining us from Boston College, I believe.
Yes.
I'd like to first understand, what are y'all roles on campus here? So I'll start with you. Yes, what is your role on campus? What are you involved in?
Okay. My role. Well, first of all, I'm a sophomore, so
Awesome. Okay.
I'm also a transfer, so I just got there, so I don't have too much experience.
Cool.
But in terms of CAB, I first started off as like a marketing department, so I didn't really have somewhere like to call home really, because there's a bunch of different departments at BC. But I didn't really have one, so I would do the social media. I would do a couple of flyers here and there. But recently this semester, I wanted to join a department, so I joined T&E, which is trips and excursions.
Okay.
So right now we divide ourselves into trips that we want to oversee and coordinate and market or advertise. So currently doing a clay room. So this next week that's coming up, I'm gonna chaperone clay room. Made a flyer for it, and I think that's it for what I've been
Got a lot going on. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your role in CAB? Are you also in CAB as well?
Yes, the
Beautiful.
Campus
Okay.
Activities Board at BC. I'm an assistant director of marketing for the Campus Engagement Department. The Campus Engagement Department focuses on doing a lot of frequent and smaller kind of events to just generally brighten people's day on campus. And I've been the assistant director for 2 years for the marketing team, so I oversee 7 coordinators, support a little team. It's so fun.
That's awesome. I think we like to look at the big events on campus, the Stoke sets of it, which are great. But I think it's important to have these small events that are more niche. And it sounds like that's more your expertise here, is working on the little niche ones. Is there one that stands out in recent memory as something that's a deep cut of a super niche theme that somehow happened to work for you? What kind of events have you been working on?
Oh, okay. This is such a good question.
We're going to pause 1 second while this announcement happens.
Sorry.
JK, it seems like they did not do an announcement after all. I apologize. All right. So anyway, yes. What niche events have you been working on?
So just a couple of days ago, we had a Palentine's event.
Tell me. I don't know what this means. I'm so intrigued.
It's a gender-inclusive version of Galentine's,
Awesome.
but
Okay.
Palentine's,
Yes.
you know?
Okay.
And it was to celebrate all of the love in your life and all of the love and friendships, rather than just focusing on romantic love on Valentine's Day. And so it was where everyone got little glasses and they came with their friends, and they got to paint them and make some Valentine's Day cards for each other. And it was in our cafe, and it was super successful. And it was just really nice to watch people take the time to actually sit down with their friends during an event and spend not just grabbing and walking by, grabbing something free, but actually chatting with their friends and doing something together. And so that was really sweet and rewarding.
I think seeing the activity is a really beautiful way to know that people are engaged, that they're creating something. You can see visually they're engaged, not just kind of there because they're stuck there, they're actively engaged and enjoying it. Were you involved in Palentine's as well?
No, that's
Okay.
her department.
Should have been.
Okay.
Yeah, should have been. I should've
We
went.
all should have been. It sounds like. It sounds like a great event. Yeah.
But for Valentine's Day, we did do a salsa dancing lesson that they went to, because our things it's trips and excursions, so it's outside of campus, whereas hers is on campus. So we take them on different types of trips. But it was $5 a person, and I think 25. We had a turnout of 25 people, and they got to learn some salsa, and you could take your couple or a friend, everyone told me that it was really fun. So honestly, I wish I went, but I was here, which is also fun.
Also a great place to be. Yeah, it's great to build such inclusive campuses. I think it's the forward line of these events, where it sounds like, the salsa's kind of team building thing. You're getting out of your comfort zone, where I assume some people went because they knew salsa, and some people just said, I'm going to try this. I personally cannot dance. I think I have 2 left feet, maybe even only 1 left foot. I don't even know if both my feet work like that. But it's an incredible thing to be able to give students, and I think Palentine's is a similar thing here, but an incredible way to get students engaged. It must be very fulfilling for y'all both to see these events come to life and kind of take a chance on Palentine's, on a salsa dance class, and to see people come must be rewarding and fulfilling. Has that kind of been your experience as these events materialize?
I mean, I haven't. So my first.
I guess you were away for salsa, so yes, I apologize.
Yes. No, the first event I'm going to actually go to and see the turnout for is Clay Room. So I'm excited for that. This is coming, and I think we're gonna try to do also something music related or orchestra related later on. So really excited for those. But it seems like we always get a really big turnout for the sports. events. I think last semester we took them to a Boston Bruins hockey game.
Incredible, yep.
A lot of people went to that. And then hopefully we can do more of that this semester, maybe hockey or maybe like the Celtics. So we'll see. But a lot of people are going to go to that for sure.
That's incredible, yes. And what was your reaction to watching Palentine's come together?
I was definitely fulfilling. I was like my first time fully leading the whole planning side and programming side of the event. So I was like a little bit worried of going into it, but like all of my roommates came as like attendees. And so it was like really nice to have their support. And just like genuinely students coming up to me and being like, oh, like, thank you so much. Like I had fun. Just kind of like makes all of the hard planning and stressful part of it like worth it.
I think that's the tough part is that like putting on events is unfortunately hard. And I think college as a whole can be a very stressful place. Like there's so many new opportunities and it's a great, rich place to explore those opportunities. But we're also away from home. We're also away from our friends that we've grown up with. We're in a new place oftentimes, a new weather. If we're up in Boston, like I know some of the students who are coming from the South or from the West Coast. I don't know if that's either of y'all coming from a warmer climate. But it can be tricky to go through all these and like to give them a warm, inclusive space like this is so valuable. Do you think it like helps make campus feel more like home? Like, does this better BC's campus?
I think so. No, definitely. It brings a lot of people together, especially when we like collab. We do a lot of collabs with like cultural clubs. Coming up, I think this Tuesday we're collabing with I think it's CSA, the Chinese Student Association, for Lunar New Year. So like I feel like that like creates a sense of community and a sense of belonging, which I know we just learned about in the keynote speech, and it's like really nice. And I think we should have way more of those, honestly, because I don't know. There's a lot of like isolation and like sometimes campus, like whether it's BC or like any other college, it could be cliquey sometimes. And so having those events that like bring everyone together is just so special.
That isolation, I think, is a really prominent problem. And I think it's something we all feel with. Like, I assume you all at some moment have felt that. Like, how do you get yourself out of that rut when you're feeling stuck in your dorm and you're feeling stuck in the social circle of 5 friends? And it's like, I love y'all, but I need a new flavor of friendship once in a while. How do you find yourself crawling out of that rut where it's like, I want to just sit in my dorm, but I know that that's not the best way? How do you find yourself, how do you motivate yourself to get out of that rut?
As someone new on campus, it's like way harder to like find your people, especially because sometimes like there comes a certain point where people are really friendly and then like after they like, kind of close themselves up a bit because like they believe that they have like found everyone they need to find, even though we're on this like big campus and there's just so many people that you haven't met. And I think for me, like getting involved and like just saying yes to everything and like trying to apply and interview for literally anything is really helpful. And I'm really glad like I did that at the beginning of the year with CAB because I had no idea of the community it was. I have no idea. Like there was like 150 people in it, like just a lot of people in it. And there's still so many people I don't know. So every time we do a bonding or like we just have everyone together in one room, like I meet someone new every time because you would never meet them either like in your class or just in the dining hall. You would always like pass by them, but being in that kind of like confined space together kind of forces you to interact, which is really nice because I think you meet like some of the best people that way.
I think it's a very brave attitude to be able to go out and be vulnerable and apply to CAB and apply to all these things. And like, I don't know if I personally always have that courage. Like, I think it's an incredible thing. Like, Sophia, if you had a similar challenge here, like trying to break out of your shell, like how do you get out of the rut when you're just like, I want to be in my dorm, I want to be alone, but I know that's not the best way to find happiness on campus?
Yeah, I think, well, like, firstly, I'm a very social person.
Okay.
So I don't know if I find myself in that rut often, but I think that on a personal level, just telling myself that, like, doing one small thing, even if it's for, like, a short period of time, is better than just staying in my room or staying in my bed. So just kind of making, like, the actions more, like, digestible and approachable to be like, okay, like, I can go to the gym and I don't need to run 5 miles. I can run 1. 1 mile is better than no miles. So just kind of starting, I find to be the hardest part. Because then once I'm running, I'm like, wait, like I'm feeling great. That dopamine hits. So just doing something tiny that feels like I can actually do it and not overwhelming to get started. It's a technique I use.
So very wise. Yes. One of my favorite books is called Atomic Habits, and it's about how to build new habits. And that's one of the big takeaways from the book is like, don't try to work out. Try to do 1 push-up.
Yes.
Make yourself do 1 single push-up today. Like there's no excuse. There's an excuse not to go run 5 miles. We can all find a reason not to go run 5 miles. You can't find a reason not to do 1 push-up. There is zero reason. And you're right. Once you do that first push-up, the second one, it's all of a sudden manageable. And next thing you know, you've done a good 30-minute workout and gotten the benefit and all the boost from that. And that's such a positive thing. What would you recommend for other students who are going through this, right? So the freshmen or transfers who are just coming to campus and are facing the same problem. How would you advise them to try and find happiness on campus?
Apply to CAB.
Apply to CAB?
Apply to CAB, yeah.
Yes,
Go to the CAB events
of
even.
course.
Yeah.
I think also at BC, like, there is so many events going around, and there's so many like people who like love to socialize and like want to chat with you. So just like kind of putting yourself out there and being a little bit vulnerable, because you will receive the vulnerability back. So just kind of like taking that courage and stepping out.
Yeah, and there's so many like organizations and clubs on campus. Like there's like somewhere for everyone, definitely. And I say yes to everything and everyone. And like obviously like that may not seem like your vibe, or you may like not want to be out with this person or like at this event, but like as long as you do it, you can like say like, okay, like I tried it and like either I like it or I don't, and like you can like kind of check that off from your list. And it could go badly, but like at least like like you tried and like you won't regret it. Because I find myself like if I say no to an event or like someone, like I'll be like, oh, like no, maybe it was fun or something, or like I do have FOMO sometimes, so like I have to go to everything. So honestly, literally just put yourself out there. Even that's so sometimes it does like feel embarrassing, but
Yeah.
it's only embarrassing if you think it's embarrassing. So
Yeah. And I think even if you don't love the event, it still gets you in that habit of saying yes and taking chances. And that's the way to find the thing you do love, right? And if you don't take that chance, if you just say no to everything, which I certainly can be guilty of at times, then you don't ever find the chance to find the things that you do love. You just get stuck and it's like, well, I have this little circle that I'm comfortable in. That's a beautiful place to be. And TikTok's great and Instagram's great, but there's not a long-term fulfillment that's going to come from spending time in those places. This episode of the Happiness Blueprint podcast is brought to you by VibeArcs. Goals, budgets, and KPIs can tell you what happened, but they don't tell you how people felt while doing the work. Happiness is the most important metric of all, and it needs a system. VibeArcs is that system for prioritizing your mental health and tracking emotional metrics for individuals, teams, and even projects. Users submit a weekly 2-minute check-in online or in the app for metrics like happiness, stress, and utilization. Then, VibeArcs processes that data into quantified metrics that help spot patterns, celebrate wins, and encourage support where needed. Personally, I loved using VibeArcs with my team at GBM6. It felt like such a great way to check in with myself and make sure I'm hitting both my professional and my personal goals. I especially love that it asks me for 3 things that I'm happy about every week. During busy season, I find that things can feel a little chaotic and stressful, so this has felt like a really great tool to reframe my focus and make sure I'm aware of how many great things are happening around me, even in the most stressful moments. VibeArcs is free forever for individuals, .edu teams, and .org teams. All other organizations can start with a 60-day free trial and then pay just $5 per user per month to build a healthier, happier, and more engaged workplace. Check out the link in our description to get started on your own journey towards a happier personal and professional life. Thank you to VibeArcs for sponsoring today's episode. All right, back to the show.
Yeah.
How do you find students, how do you motivate students to come to your events as you were battling TikTok and social media age? Like, it sounds like you felt how happy these things can make you, but knowing what it makes you and convincing someone else to feel these things are 2 very different challenges here. What are you doing to get students into your events so they do feel as happy as they can?
I think honestly, kind of just connecting with them. I know like being a part of the marketing team, we did a lot of videos just like generally on the CAB or on our CAB Instagram where it was like TikTok trends or anything. So they'd be like, oh my God, like CAB is so relatable and funny, ha. And then they would like come and go to our events. But yeah, I think kind of just like staying in touch with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also a challenge that I feel like our marketing team faces, which I'm assuming a lot of other colleges do, is just there's such an oversaturation of flyers on like every staircase.
Yeah, yes.
There's so many events going on. Students are busy. They have work. They have classes. So like it can be hard to kind of grab their attention. So meeting students where they are at has been like a new technique that my team has been exploring. And for example, we just started doing like promotion stickers on the back of coffee cups. So like at our cafes, when you get a cup, on the back of the sleeve will be like a Mr. BC pageant, February 27th, join us. So just kind of like grabbing them quickly and just getting their intrigue first to like then look up the CAB Instagram or look up the website to see what the event is works. And also getting the students to interact with us is a big thing. Like we walked around and we did little interviews on campus. Like, what do you think Mr. BC would be like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just building general like buzz and hype and trying to cut through that saturation.
That coffee cup idea or the coffee sleeve idea is just a brilliant one. Like, that's a really clever way to meet people. And you're right. The boards are always stuffed, which is a great problem to have. It's great to have such an abundance of wealth. But you're right, it does create a lot of noise. And I think Instagram and social media posts are the other obvious way to campaign. And that's great. But it is, you're competing against everyone's favorite social influencer person. That's a hard battle to win.
It is.
So you're right that the coffee cup is a great way to make it direct and relatable. And I think it also is like, you get your coffee, you go chat with your friends, you all go, hey, have y'all seen this? What is this thing? What is Mr. BC? Is that Mr. BC an event y'all are putting on?
Yes.
Please.
I'm
Okay.
so excited.
Okay.
Mr. BC is a male pageant.
Okay.
And we have about 5 to 6 various in class, like freshmen to seniors participate, and they do like Q&A. They show us a talent, maybe a lip sync battle. They do like a strut their one way in their suits. And then we have all of the audience like vote on who they think the winner is, and they're crowned Mr. BC.
Incredible.
And then they win a custom tailored suit.
That's a great prize.
It is.
Yeah, I did for job force, when I do a LinkedIn headshots and everything. That's an incredible thing to have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm emceeing it this year, so I'm super excited.
So it's a long-running tradition on campus.
This is only our second year.
Awesome. Okay.
Running year.
Did you help pioneer this event last year? Or are you?
Yes, we pioneered it. I actually ran this event at my high school.
Awesome. Okay.
So it was a little bit different because the winner got to pick the fundraiser where like the money went to, but like kind of male pageant. Oops.
No worries at all.
Energy. So then as a team, we kind of figured out how can we phrase it the scale to do it at college campus.
That's incredible that you've been doing this for a long time and like trying to incorporate people and build community. Nikita, at your previous school or in high school, were you involved in other events and trying to make people happy through them?
Honestly, no. My old school, dear as it is, I don't think they have a cap. I was never really, I mean, I was only there for a semester, and then my second semester, I went abroad, so I didn't really do much there or in London. But my old high school, nothing as well. I was always like, I was been like doing random things and like marketing here and there. So like I did post on social media for while I was abroad and stuff, and like promotion for like our study abroad program, but never putting on events. Which is when I saw Cal, I was like, wait, there's no way that's really cool. Because I saw a lot of other schools have like concerts on campus, and I had no idea, like I didn't have that. So having that opportunity to do that here and kind of become part of that was really cool. So
Cap certainly does great concerts. Yes, you do a lot of great things. Your concerts are certainly up there on the list.
So really excited. And I had no idea there were so many people, like schools that did cab or like had a cab like program or anything like that. So like coming here to NACA and just meeting a lot of different people, and like even like the more like niche schools that I've never heard of and they have a CAV is really cool.
Awesome. We have 2 last questions we would love to wrap up with here. So one of them is like, it seems like you've done a great job kind of coming out of your shells and taking on new events and new challenges and bringing traditions from the past to your new place, which is awesome, and starting new traditions and being brave and finding traditions here is awesome. What advice would you give to your past self? So as you're looking back on the journey that we've been through, like there is so much we can learn. And as I look back at my Cameron journey, it's like, man, if I knew 10 years ago what I know now, I could have saved a year of headaches and challenges and spending money on things that I probably shouldn't have spent money on. Like, what advice would you give to your past self that would, help speed up your growth towards where you are now?
I think, honestly, I would say, a lot of the times I think to myself, like, if this happens, it's meant to happen. And I remember applying to a lot of colleges because I'm a first-gen student. So like I didn't have any idea. I didn't really have any idea about the college process and like how it worked. And so when I did it, I was kind of very confused. And where I ended up like wasn't my top choice, I guess I would say, which I didn't realize until much later, but I was glad that I was a part of it because I met so many like great people at my old school, and I got to go abroad, which is great because a lot of freshmen don't have that opportunity. And so honestly, in the moment, like I was kind of sad about it, but looking back, I'm so glad like that's the way it panned out. And it was honestly originally my plan to transfer. And so I'm glad that I was able to kind of execute that. And there's been a lot of like times too where like I apply and like I interview for things or like I get rejected or whatever, and it's like it is a bruise to the ego, truly. But then like you think about it and then like the time passes, you're like, okay, well, I realized why it had to happen that way.
Yeah.
And I think if I would have like talked to my past self, I'd just be like, just like be okay with what's happening right now and just take it day by day because it's all happening for a reason and you'll realize that later.
It sounds like you did a great job accepting that you can like course correct, where I think the transferring here is almost a blessing in disguise of like realizing like I made this choice. Didn't turn out to be the right choice for me, but I have the power now to find a choice that is the right choice for me. Feels like a great life lesson. It feels like it would have stunk as you got halfway through the time and went, this isn't quite my home. And whatever those motivations were, certainly, you didn't leave because you're having a great time and everything was perfect. Like it would stink to stare those in the face, but it's also a powerful thing to go, I have the power to make this better for myself. I think that's a lesson we can all certainly internalize and learn. So that's something you should be very proud of, I think.
Yeah, and I want a lot of experiences too. So like I'm glad like I know people there and now I know people at BC and like just like connections everywhere, which is really nice.
That's it. Yes. What advice would you have for your best self?
This kind of piggybacking off of it, but I would just tell myself that everything, like you're going to figure everything out. I feel like there's a difference between telling yourself that everything's going to be okay, and not like everything's going to work out. You're going to get through it because you always do. Like life is always going to go on. You're always going to find some way to muddle through the waters. And just like everything might not turn out the way you want it to, but like you're gonna figure it out. And also I would also tell myself not to rush my growth. Because perfection is an impossible end goal. So I think growth like is the goal. To continue to grow is what you're striving for. So don't rush yourself. Like you'll get places that you want to be, and just the constant strive is what is really important. So those are two things I would tell myself.
That resonates with me as well. I think I have the perfection instinct, and I've learned to frame it as optimization. So I'm never going to get perfect at this thing, but if every day I can optimize it 1% better, get a little more efficient at it or a little more creative with it, or just find one little thing, then that is a much more digestible and sustainable goal. Where I think, to go full circle here back to the gym analogy, it's like you can't run 100 miles today. There is a real chance that if you run a mile every day and keep escalating that, like maybe 100 is a little bit like even a marathon or whatever the big goal there is, that it's not going to happen overnight, but there is a consistency to be proud of there. And that I think consistency is worth being proud of, because so many people try thing and they quit after one time when they couldn't do the mile that they wanted to run. And it's like, but if you stick with it, you can run that mile and you can run too.
Yeah, I think doing it matters more than doing it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yep. I got some advice earlier that was like, be someone who shows up. And that to me always resonated. Like, I can't be on my best day every day. That's not realistic. Yeah. But I can be here every day. I can do my best to sit down and try. And that's gets you a whole lot further. So awesome. I appreciate y'all taking the time to chat with me. My last question here that I almost forgot about here is, we're a happiness-based company. I'd like to know one thing that makes you happy outside of all this. We talked a lot about CAB. We've talked a lot about events. This could be a favorite hobby, a favorite food, a favorite friend, a family member that just glows your world when you get to see them. What's something that makes you happy outside of this?
I love to travel. I grew up going on a lot of road trips, so I got to see like a lot of the Northeast. I have yet to kind of conquer the West Coast or the Midwest. But I studied abroad again in London, and I went a lot throughout Europe. I'm going to study abroad in South Korea soon.
Incredible.
Yeah, so exciting.
To follow in Sofia's footsteps. We studied abroad in Japan, so I'm excited to also go to Japan. And I also love like traveling within South America, because my family, we're all Hispanic, and just that's also something that makes me really happy, just connecting back to my culture and like being in a lot of diverse groups. And it doesn't even have to only be like Hispanic culture. Like I just love being around people that just wear their culture proudly. There's a lot of dance teams at BC, and so I'm excited for Showdown, because a lot of them are also like cultural. So it's really exciting. Even if like I don't fully understand it, it's just so like beautiful to see and kind of admire how connected they are because of this one thing that kind of unifies them.
The Showdown is a beautiful display of culture. I'm curious about your travel here. It sounds like you've seen a whole lot of the world here. And we know that the major, the Eiffel Towers of the world are brilliant. What's like what's a hole in the wall, kind of a small part of a city that you loved? Or is there a small attraction that you loved? What is something that like was off the beaten path that you would recommend everyone would go see if I had the luxury to go to this place tomorrow?
I went to this little town in Poland called Poznan.
Okay.
Or I don't know if I'm butchering that, but
Sure.
yeah.
Yes. Some
but
Polish
it
listener
was
out there is really grumpy, but the rest of
really
us think it
bad.
was awesome. Yes.
But it was really cute because I was trying to like travel on a budget because London is expensive enough as it is.
Yeah.
So I took a lot of Ryanair flights, very
tough.
cheap, yeah, very cheap, and it took us to Poznan, and honestly, it was like this really cute little kind of folk tale city. The architecture was really pretty. It was like pastel-y. They had like 2 goats. The little thing was like there was every time like I think the clock strike 12 or something. I might be wrong,
Okay.
but some goats came out and they like kind of bumped heads.
That's adorable. Okay.
And I got like a cooking class over there.
Incredible.
Learned how to make I think like bread or something.
Okay.
They really like pierogies over there too. So that was, and also I went to some great like places out there. Honestly, that was really unexpected.
Interesting.
But
Yeah.
really love Poznan, Poland. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, yes. I will check it out. Hopefully I get to check it out at some point. Yes. Sophia, what's something that makes you happy outside of the academic event space that we've been chatting about?
I was originally thinking travel, but also music. I love listening to music. I am not talented in that area, really. But
That's how I got into camera work, was loving music and going, well, the music part isn't going to work for me, but maybe the camera part
tried the
will.
clarinet. My parents were like, "It's time to put it down. Please save our eardrums." But I just love like waking up with music, doing like 30-second dance party breaks, Grey's Anatomy inspired. But yeah, and I think it also just really brings people together on connecting back to Showdown. And yeah, so I just really like music, listening to it, singing, dancing.
Is there a concert you've been to in recent times or in the past that stands out as like a high watermark of them all?
I went to a Swedish rock concert by Kaleo.
Okay.
Oh my God, it was so fun. He had a harmonicist as part of his band.
Awesome. Okay.
Like, just epic. And like the vibes, it was like kind of a smaller venue where everyone's standing, so I kind of like that vibe better. And it was really fun. Yeah,
There's something you said about smaller shows where you're
Yes.
just when there's 50 people
Thanks
in
for
the room
listening
and you really
to
can
The
feel
Happiness
every single
Blueprint.
person. And yeah, there's
Powered
something
by
intimate and
GBN6.
personal about it that I like.
It's about making people happy.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with us today. Awesome. This has been the Happiness Blueprint. We did it, Brett.